It's been a long Tuesday. I forgot to add myself to the screen. Hello, everyone. My name is Brendan, and welcome to Our Life in Horror. Today, we're going to be doing a movie review discussion on 1999's Komodo. Um, I don't think I have any housekeeping. It's been a long Tuesday. I hope everybody's doing well. Um, yeah, I don't think I got any housekeeping, so I'm going to bring my wonderful guest on, Matt from Macabre Daily. Hello, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm alive somehow, some way. I persist.
Dude, I know today felt like it felt like Monday. It's like just the longest day possible for some reason.
Yeah. I joined a Zoom meeting earlier, and sometimes you have to click join. Like it kind of gives you the preview box, and then you click join, and then it puts you in a waiting room. Well, I thought I was in the waiting room, so I was sitting there, with my dick in my hand, proverbially speaking, waiting to get led into a room that I hadn't even joined yet. So yeah, it's been a Tuesday, man. It's been a Tuesday.
Well, hopefully this discussion will get our minds off of work and everything else, and we can maybe have some fun with talking about Komodo. But first, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience? Let them know where you are, what you're doing, because you're doing a lot.
Yes. So Matt Orozco, also Macabre Matty on the gram. I am the editor in chief of Macabre Daily, which is a website that posts news, reviews, interviews, and opinion pieces about all things horror. And yeah, we have an amazing staff of writers. I don't want to suck up too much air with my stuff, but just to put a
Oh,
spotlight on
please.
them, we have 12 writers who are all amazing, all putting out some amazing content. So if you like genre and you like to hear what other people to say about it, please support the site and those folks. And yeah, lifelong horror fan. Also, I'm the co-host of the Terrifying Three. We put out episodes kind of cryptically now, so we're sending smoke signals and carrier pigeons across the U.S. for when our next episode will drop. But my good friends Mark and Jordana co-host that with me. So yeah, it's a little bit about myself. Long walks on the beach. 5'11", like dogs and cats, and can cook a pretty mean ramen. So
Nice, excellent, dude. Mark from Mark Loves Horror has just been killing it on the fucking Instagram reels. They're so funny.
Mark is finally in his influencer era, and I am so happy for him. He's a content creator at heart, and he's good at it.
Yes, he is. I'm just going to take a quick moment here to hit up the chat. We do have Matt Macabre Daily's link here, so please go do subscribe. Give him all the love you can. But we got our amazing channel mod here. Ryan Swayze's in the house. Hello, Ryan. We got Chester Franklin Jr. What is going on, man? Happy Tuesday. We got Holland Oates. Hello, sir. And we got Rob. I was a couple minutes late, sir. Luckily, you weren't here yet. He says, hey, I have no idea what this movie is, so I won't be staying for too long.
Neither do the filmmakers, so we're all in the same boat.
Yeah, this is an interesting bag for sure. Yeah, we'll get into it here shortly. But we also do got Slasher Radio's link there, so you guys aren't subscribed to them. They do put out new episodes on Spotify and YouTube, I think, every Thursday. My beautiful other half is watching for a little bit. We got Sam. And that's it for now. Perfect. Okay. So I guess I'll I wanted to do giant monster animal movies for March because the first day of spring is here. Everything's starting to warm up. It's starting to get colorful out. Here it's just kind of rainy and cold every other day, but that's kind of my theory on why I wanted to do giant monsters. And because Sam also doesn't like these, I was like, I'm going to make a whole month dedicated to it. So one I haven't seen this week is actually both of them I haven't seen, but Komodo I hadn't seen, and I had watched a YouTube video on it during the Christmas break, and they convinced me that I need to see it. So that's why I decided to pick Komodo, but we'll get into some quick little facts about it. It was released in 1999. It has a letterbox of 2.5, an IMDb of 4.2. It stars Kevin Zegers, Jill Hennessy, and Billy Burke. Let's see. The synopsis for the film is: after witnessing his parents being killed by creatures on an island as a child, a young man is brought back to the island a few years later by a psychiatrist, only to be terrorized by the same creatures. It's directed by Michael Lantry, who doesn't sound familiar at all.
Yeah.
He's a special effects guy. That's why. And Komodo's his only directorial debut. So,
But
makes
he's
sense.
elevated. He's graduated from this to doing Jurassic Park movies. So, you start with a Komodo, you end up with the full-on T-Rex.
Yeah. Yeah. Did he do the newest one or something?
He didn't direct them. He's the special effects. Like he does a lot of special effects for the dinosaurs. So I think he did them for the original Jurassic Park. In fact, it looks like he's a big Spielberg guy. So fascinating that Spielberg's aura could somehow lead to someone making something like Komodo.
Yeah, because I see here he is also on Minority Report, AI Intelligence, Flight. Yeah, Jurassic Park. Oh, he even does Jurassic Park Rebirth, Dominion. He did all the Jurassic Park movies. Jurassic World, I guess I should say now. But yeah, so let's get into spoiler-free thoughts. Maddie, have you seen this one before?
This is a first time watch for me.
Okay, same.
I had no expectations. I remember. Well, let me take that back. I had seen this a long time ago when it was released on like video, and I do not remember it at all. So I'm like, it's basically a first time watch at that point.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I'd seen like I was talking to you about like when I first reached out to you. I'm like, I saw this movie like back in the day at a pawn shop, and I thought $8 was too much to pay for it. Now, you know what? I've searched every nook and cranny of every antique mall or used video store I can find, and nobody seems to have a copy of it. So it kind of bit me in the ass not getting it. But it's free to watch on YouTube. There's actually two links, and they're the whole movie. One's an hour 25 and one's an hour 30. I skimmed through the hour 30 one today, and it doesn't look like I missed anything. So fingers crossed anyways. But yeah, so yesterday was also my first time watch for it. I gotta say, a little disappointed with that YouTuber that highly recommended checking this movie out. It just wasn't as fun as I thought it was going to be.
No, in fact, I need to see that link from that video so I can just see what that person was trying to articulate, because I like the biggest problem I think like some genre movies can have is they try and make the simple really complicated. And I think that this movie is a perfect example of that. Like, this should just be about Komodo dragons fucking people up. That's all anyone wants to see. But instead, we get this whole like psychology trauma plot with this murdered family, and then there's like a company that's like displacing Komodo dragons, and that's causing. I don't need that. Like, this is not Ferngully. I just want to see giant dinosaur-like lizards ripping the faces off of people who do and do not deserve it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I was talking to a guy at work about it, and he's like, oh, I saw that movie. He's like, it was really good. I'm like, are you sure you watched the movie? He's like, it's been a long time. I'm like, okay, because it's not as good as what you think it is.
Yeah. Hey, watch it again, man. See if his opinion still holds.
Yeah, I'm like, I kind of wish it was more like Python, where, you know, it just knows what it is and it has a good time with it.
Totally. And I think that's like, you know, people shit on all those asylum movies, but the reality is like those movies know exactly what they are. And so if you watch one of those movies, like, you know, Mecha Shark versus Godzilla, you know, King Kong's nuts, like, you know exactly what you're getting. You're going to get some CGI shark fighting some pair of gorilla testicles. And like, that's exactly what you signed up for. But, you know, I think that's some of these other movies, it's like, oh, it's about a Komodo dragon, but then we have to put all this other stuff in. It's like, no, like this isn't the story that you were born to tell. This is like supposed to be lizards ripping face. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. And we didn't get much of any of that within this movie.
No, and like that's such an easy win in my mind. It's like, because even like I will say the Komodo dragon like looks pretty good, and I will acknowledge that obviously it's a 1999 movie, so the CGI was still it was better than it was in Spawn, right? But it still is taking some time to get to where it is now. But I did watch what it said it was an AI upscaled version on YouTube.
That's what I watched.
it looked like someone had bathed it in Vaseline. So I'm like, I actually kind of wish I could find a non-AI upscale version because it looked so like, it almost like it removes the detail when AI upscales. It like kind of gets rid of the texture. And so everything looks much smoother. So yeah, I don't know. It was a little distracting, but nevertheless, like I don't know if the movie, if I had seen it in its intended format, I'm not sure if it would have been any better either. So didn't ruin the movie per se.
I know. I didn't even think it looked that bad with the AI upscaling. So we clearly watched the same link on YouTube. Did your voices line up or were they off?
There was a little bit of offness in some parts. It wasn't like, and I'll be honest, I was multitasking while doing part of this. I was like on my Peloton bike watching it, which I'm paying full attention because I hate working out. So anything I can do to distract myself from what I'm doing is great. But I wasn't paying. I'd say like I don't think I noticed it more than once or twice, and it never took me out.
Okay, because yeah, the whole movie I think is off by just a beat, and the same YouTuber put out the movie without the AI upscaling. But when I went and watched it on the TV, it was so pixelated and like just awful looking that I opted to go with the other one. But I was watching it on my phone just before this stream just to kind of see what it looked like. It looked pretty much the same. So I should have just watched it on my phone instead of on the big screen. But
a rare it's a situation where on the phone is better than the bigger screen.
Yeah, and it's wild that this movie's not even available to rent digitally anywhere.
I would venture to guess that has a lot to do with the fact that it's probably forgotten about. And I know like just having listened to a lot of podcasts where the folks from Vinegar Syndrome have been on in the past, they often talk a little about the acquisition process. And what ends up happening most of the time is like the reason why we get like some really well-known, like we'll get like Showgirls released on like 4K UHD, but then we get like 5 other movies from Paramount that like no one's ever heard of. It's because they sell, like they basically try and offload these movies in packages to these boutique labels. So they'll say like, yeah, we'll give you Navy SEALs, but you have to take these 6 other movies too with it. And of course, Vinegar Syndrome's job is to make those other 6 movies look just as appealing as the one movie that's the marquee name. So maybe it's a matter of time until like Komodo gets released from someone like a Vinegar Syndrome because they kind of have to.
I would like to see this movie like upscaled. I would like to see I don't think I'd like it in 4K, but I would like to see a Blu-ray new, 2K scan. I'd be more than happy with this movie.
It definitely does. I think it would be much better view experience to see it in like a Blu-ray format at the very least. Hell, even the DVD, like that $8 DVD sounds really appealing right now. Even though it's long gone. But if I ever come across Komodo DVD in my thrifting exercises, I will absolutely grab one. And if there's multiple, I'll grab one for you as well, Brendan, because no matter what, even if I don't like this movie, just to know I own a piece of Komodo history is worth dying for.
That's what I mean. As long as it's under $10, because even the copies on Amazon aren't too expensive, but I still wasn't willing to spend $15, $23 to get it shipped too. So
it's important to have a ceiling.
yeah, exactly. I got a line, and I'm not willing to cross it.
It saves you a ton of money that way too. So
I'm usually not that way, but with this one, I chose to be. I'm just gonna hit up the comments here real quick before we dive into a spoiler discussion. We got Joel from Darkroom Reviews. What is going on? And then Rob's chiming in here. Oh, he's asking Sam if she's enjoying her retirement. We got Mike and Serial here. Hello, Mike. Let's see, Sam's responding back with yes, she does. We also got Voices of the Mausoleums link there, so please, guys, go subscribe and then come on back. We got Gory Tiger in the house. What is going on? Feeling alienated. Gory, you like this movie? Sam saying, yay, Peloton. Sam's also got one upstairs.
Yeah, I know I need to use it to keep this impeccable dad bod in shape. But I hate it.
I tell you, if Sam could have every piece of Peloton equipment, she would.
You know what? And I say more power to listen, if this, I don't I think I'm just one of those people who's just very averse to working out. Like I'd so much rather be doing something else. But because I'm kind of a fat ass, I need to like make sure that I like at least do some physical activity so that I don't, you know, completely lose the plot. So I'll do it, but I'm almost always watching a movie now while I'm doing it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, see, that would keep me interested in it, maybe. But my job's hard enough on me as it is, so I don't need to work out after work. So
Yeah,
kind
and
of
I'm
went in there.
sedentary all day. So like for me, it's like I need something or else I'm just gonna atrophy and die and wither.
Sam says that she needs to work out because she likes to eat.
You know what? I'm with that too. Like I have no self-control. So I need something to balance out the bullshit.
Yeah. uh, Joel says you had me at gorilla testicles. Also, guys, I don't know if I'm lagging on. I don't know if StreamYard's keeping me up to date here on the chat. I should actually maybe check that out here real quick. Sometimes I don't know why, but lately it's been lagging. So
Do
hopefully
you
it's
use a
not.
VPN by chance?
No, we don't.
Okay, because I just learned today that my VPN absolutely destroys my internet speed. So I was trying to play tech support, but that's the extent of my tech support that I can provide.
Well, yeah, I know. I don't know why it does it either. Um, and we're hardwired right in, so we really shouldn't have any issues. And of course, I can't even find our stream now. I should have done this beforehand. I wasn't even thinking.
Hey, this is okay. This is life. This is how it works. We all have things we're doing besides this stuff, and if we have to do it in the moment, we do it in the moment. Like
I know.
I think we're at a point in our lives where we all realize that we're all people, so we could just, you know, we know that not everything's going to be set up perfectly. In fact, I think it's even better when like we have like real, like, oh, this isn't going exactly as planned, or we got to fix something on the fly. Keeps you spry, keeps you engaged.
Yeah. I am up to date actually, so that's good. So StreamYard's doing its job and it's doing it well. Sam says the dogs keep farting. I know. I can. It smells fucking gross. I just got a whiff of it downstairs here too, and I don't know why.
There's a horror movie for you, dog farts. You know, that's.
Oh, Sam walked into a horror show apparently after a doctor's appointment today.
Oh,
Poor
no.
Bruce was stuck in the bedroom.
Oh.
No, yeah, it was just pure terror, I guess. It felt so bad. But yeah, so we're gonna get into. Look at that, Sam trying to blame those sweet dogs. We're gonna get into this movie, I guess. Describe this movie in 3 words.
What the fuck?
Okay, that's fair enough. Mine could have been worse, but at the same time,
Yeah.
like I could also use could have been better.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe let me take my back. Where's the like needs more lizards? Like that's just I think that I'm gonna take my one back. Needs more lizards.
No, okay. Favorite character?
Honestly, they're all so anonymous. Like there's no one in this movie that feels that like that stands out in any meaningful way. Maybe like the bad guy, like Bracken, like maybe is somewhat singular because he just kind of sits there and like is menacing over the phone. But because she's a known quantity, I'm gonna go with Jill Hennessy's Victoria, only because I know who Jill is, like she's a well-known actor. So I'm just gonna go with Jill.
Okay, all right. I went with Oates, just even though Oates was all right, like Billy Burke. I thought he could have been more interesting. Like they set him up to be more interesting, and then he just kind of turned out not to be. But he has this kind of badass moment in the pond or whatever when he lights the cigar and throws it in the water, and it goes up. And you think he goes up too, but later on he doesn't. I was like, oh, that was pretty badass. I'll give it to you. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, they try and make him this like mysterious, like Komodo dragon whisperer, and it's like, all right, like there's a lot you're asking me to buy in this movie. You're asking me to buy like someone's out there just like, no, we got to save these Komodo dragons. It's like, okay, I mean, I guess they are endangered, so I guess there's that. But yeah, He's definitely more. He's definitely has more personality than most of the characters in the rest of the movie. That's for sure.
Yeah, and he definitely tries his best. Like there's a scene where he loses his friend or whatever, and he gets so upset about it for no reason whatsoever. Like there's just no backstory between the two of them at all. He just gets he's like ah, and then smashes his hand in the cabinet. It's like, were you that connected to that guy? No, there's just no background set up.
There's some context we're missing, and it's sorely needed because that could have made that so much better. It's like, oh yeah, he was my best man in the wedding, and he also helped me save this, life from a Komodo dragon. It's like we got to do more to like loop in the Komodo dragon lore of like how this maybe guy saved him from a Komodo dragon attack or something, and it made them lifelong brothers. I mean, that's the kind of like cheese that I need that this movie sorely needed. Is just leaning into how absurd and silly all of this is.
Yeah, and that's something too that I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but like this movie just nobody talks about how big they are. Not one person goes, yeah, these Komodo dragons are like 6 times the size of a regular Komodo dragon. Like this is like beyond, this isn't natural at all. Like they're totally endangered. Like it's so weird. Nobody brings up the size.
And when you see them, it's like, and it's again, if you've been to, I used to live in Arizona, and they used to have this place called the Sonoran Desert Museum. It's basically just an outdoor, it's a zoo for the desert. And they had like Komodo dragons there, and like they get pretty big, but they're not like that big, they're not like a monitor lizard, which are like significantly bigger in scope. So I don't know, maybe we didn't get the longest ones, but I think they can get to, well, I'm going to eat my words here a little bit. Apparently they can get to as long as 10 feet, which, okay, that's menacing. But none of these look 10 feet long. I'm just going to say.
That's probably tail included though. Like these Komodo dragons in this movie are like 6 feet long, just their body, because at some point there's one crushing, Billy Burke, and it's like full on top of him, pinning him down, and it's like the whole length of his body.
I definitely feel like they're heavy because I feel like it's just pure muscle, like especially that tail. And that's something else that I was like, we need, like, take advantage of the natural predator aspects of this animal. Like the tail, for example, like an alligator tail, that can break your leg. If it hits you with enough force, like it can break your fucking leg. So make these Komodo dragons like menacing. Like I want to see tails whipping and like snapping limbs off. Like I want it to like punch someone in the face. Like there needs to be more of that. But no, we just get occasional bites. And then
long drawn out chases.
Yeah, and like long conversations about nothing. And like the little boy, and like the whole boy plot to me is just so unnecessary. Like I don't know why this child, like this does not matter at all. This does not need to be here. And I was kind of hoping they do something cool with like maybe the kid like realizes like, oh, I'm gonna kill a Komodo dragon and like put the blood underneath his eyes and like goes full Predator, like Arnold at the end of Predator. Like that's what I want to see this kid do. But instead he just kind of, he gets a chance to shine a little bit. Like he does shank that Komodo dragon that's hanging up, but that was a gimme in my mind.
Yeah, I agree. We got Nemo in the house. What is going on, Nemo? And we did lose Rob. Rob says, I know this sounds stupid, but I don't want this movie spoiled, so I'm going to run. Have a good night. Well, have a good night, Rob. You're not missing much.
I respect that.
We also got Nemo's link there. Please, guys, go subscribe and then hop on back. So I think this is pretty obvious, but least favorite character?
How about the lack of Komodo dragons? Like there's just not enough of them. I mean, I guess the little boy's kind of but there's not, I got everything against him as a character. I just don't think any of these characters are that necessarily that well written. Was Bracken Bracken was the bad guy, right? I'm pretty sure he was I guess he's maybe he has a little bit more personality than the rest of the cast, but he's still kind of lame for a bad guy. Like, he just kind of sits there and just like, I'm going to get you. Those Komodo dragons and the oil will be mine. It's like, all right,
yeah,
get off the phone and go do something, guy.
Yeah, I agree. He's more like the who's the Inspector Gadget bad guy? I can't remember for the life of me.
Dr. Claw.
Yeah, Dr. Claw just sitting there on the phone the whole time, just do my bidding.
Get his stroke in his cat.
Yeah. You know what? If he would have had a cat, he probably would have been one of my favorite characters of this movie.
Honestly, if you just let your bad guy stroke a cat the whole time, you've immediately earned an extra star on Letterbox. Like that, there's your movie could be complete shit, but if you have a bad guy stroking a cat, then you're guaranteed at least a star from me.
Who do you got for best acting? This is a tough one.
Oof. I mean, I guess I'll go back to Victoria Jill Hennessy only because she's an established actor, certainly doing her best in this role, like with what she's given. I guess Oates and Billy Burke are in the same. Like Billy Burke's, they're both kind of doing the same thing. You know, they're not really phoning it in, but they're also not giving it their all. So I'm just going to pick Jill Hennessy, but that's just because I have a bias towards people I'm familiar with.
Okay, that's fair enough. Hey, I agree with that. I'm actually going to go with Billy Burke because of the same reason. I know him from other movies. I've seen him around a lot, so I'm going to give it to Billy Burke. I would like to do Kevin Zegers too. Like I like he's literally from where I live, and he's been in a lot of stuff. Like you've seen him everywhere.
Yeah,
But unfortunately, I can't give it to him on this one.
it's okay. We'll get him on another one.
Yeah, maybe Wrong Turn or Day of the Dead or Dawn of the Dead, I guess maybe. Um, what do you think of this? The soundtrack? There's not much of a score. There's not much of a soundtrack in this movie.
Yeah, it's pretty like standard action horror stuff. So I mean, it's completely unremarkable, but it's there, so it's fine. It's not, let's just put it this way: if Waxwork Records puts out a exclusive colorway of this soundtrack, I'm not going to be the first one to buy it. That's for sure.
This is the first time I'm going to say that. I don't usually notice score in movies too often, but this one I noticed blaringly well because I feel like it was so overbearing compared to what was going on in any scene.
It's definitely dramatic. Like the scenes where the action's going on, like it definitely ramps up, but it's all the same, like da-da-da, da-da-da, and then and it's like, all right, great. Like I mean, I almost think it's funny sometimes when they replace the soundtrack in these movies with like the Benny Hill song, because it's like it makes that scene so much funnier and better, even though it's completely out of place. But I get, again, like it's most of these, like most films like Komodo, where they're really, because I'm pretty sure this was a direct-to-video movie. I don't remember this getting a theatrical release, but I could be wrong. And if that's the case, like a lot of those DTV, and this is not to put down those scores per se and the people that make them, but they're all kind of, that's work for hire, right? So it's like, all right, I'm just going to turn in this very basic score for this very basic movie and move on. So it's not, not Bear McCreary or anything like that, but it's not
I just found it. Yeah, I agree. I just found it stood out way too much during like a lot of the early on, not dramatic scenes. It just stood out way too much and almost took away from what was going on within the screen. So I was like, this is just too much.
Good old, what is it? Frank Bennett's our orchestrators, so he's to blame.
Yeah, he needs to go again. This movie did get a very limited theatrical release.
It did. Holy shit!
It did. It earned $207,000 worldwide, and its estimated budget was $15 million.
$15 million. Holy shit! This feels like a scam. Like I feel like they pulled like a, was it Jess Franco is famous for like filming in all these exotic locations in Spain, and because he just wanted to go on vacation with his producer's money. So I don't know. Maybe that's the case. Maybe they got a trip to Hawaii out of or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. It could have been Canada. I feel like it was probably Kevin Zegers is Canadian, so I feel like it was maybe shot somewhere in Canada, maybe. Um,
I mean, a lot of the best movies are made in Canada, so I wouldn't be surprised. Like,
yeah, this doesn't exactly fall within that realm, but yeah, most most of
hey,
them.
the numbers are in your favor when it comes to Canada productions being better than most. So the fact that there's a couple stinkers in there is okay by me.
How'd you feel about the cinematography for this movie?
Yeah, again, very anonymous. Like, there's nothing about it that stood out to me. It feels very much like it's shot in, and I feel the same way about Steven Spielberg, and that I don't think his cinematography or in the cinematographers he works with, like, I don't think his films necessarily are, they're not great because of that. Certainly not bad, right? It's not like it's bad cinematography, but it just felt like it was trying very much to kind of maintain that epic scope of Under Jurassic Park, especially with some of the angles they used, like some of the bigger scenes, especially like the scene where the Komodo dragon's hanging up and they're kind of fighting him in the water below. Like, it does try, but it never gets too creative, which I think is okay. Like, I think that sometimes cinematography, when it tries to do too much, becomes a distraction. And especially in a movie like this, where maybe the narrative and the plot aren't doing enough to make the film interesting. If you were to throw in some really, you know, interesting cinematography or interesting shot choices, it would probably not work well. She'd be like, wait a minute, why is this really sick angle being used for this really uncool moment?
No, I agree. I didn't think that I didn't notice anything that truly stood out for me as well. The only thing that did stand out is how dark the night scenes are in some points of the movie. Like, it is so dark you can't make out anything that is going on.
I feel like that might be a part of the AI upscaling for some reason. Because I feel like because you are right, like those dark scenes, like, it's really hard, especially because the Komodo dragons are black. It's really hard to
Mhm.
see them sometimes in those darker scenes. But I got to give it to our guy, David Burr, who was the cinematographer on this movie, because he's made a name for himself since then, particularly in the second unit in movies like Fury Road and Ragnarok. So you know what? I'm totally glad that he had a Komodo in his way to get him to a Ragnarok or a Fury Road later on.
At least a Fury Road. That movie is just oh, what an incredible sight to see that movie is.
One of the best movies of that's been made in my lifetime, for sure.
Oh yeah, I tried to get totally off topic. I tried to get Sam to watch it. She's not into action whatsoever. But I'm like, just watch until you see like the guy on the truck with the guitar and the flames shoot out at the end. He's just ripping heavy metal. I'm like, it's so sweet.
I mean,
Um,
it's like the tension of a knot being pulled for 2 hours. Like, it's just
mhm.
so, like, from the second the movie starts, or like from, like, basically after the first 5 minutes when we're just getting introduced to Max and the situation. Once he gets taken by the Blood Boys, like, then it's just nonstop propulsive. Like, you can't, it doesn't let up. And I think that even if you're not a big action movie fan, like, it's very hard to not be engaged fully in that movie. So, Sam, this is my plea to you to give that movie a shot. And if I'm wrong, I will buy you both dinner.
Oh, there you go. That's some incentive for Sam. I like that. If
Yeah, we
she's
got you got to be
listening.
honest, right? So there's got to be some measure of determined honesty here, because I would try and game my bet too. And be like, oh yeah, movie's trash. Next thing I know, Sam's wearing a Fury Road T-shirt, Fury Road tattoo, and I'm like, yeah, trash, right, my ass.
I'll bring it up to her after. I think she usually cuts out if she hasn't seen the movie, so I'll bring it up to her and see what she says. I'm gonna skip best outfit or costume just because there was nothing at all in this movie, and I'm probably pretty sure you can agree with that.
Yeah, the rip shirt budget was really high, that's for sure.
Yes. But this is gonna be a hard one too. What's your favorite kill of the movie?
There's not as many good ones, but I do think that the part where the boy, like, stabs the shit out of that Komodo dragon is a pretty good, like, kill scene. Mostly because you can see in his face that, like, he's definitely this moment's not going to be forgotten anytime soon. And he's just got such a stoic look on his face when he just shanks that thing. So I really like that. But there wasn't as, like I said at the beginning, there's not enough Komodo dragon violence on, like, Komodo dragon to people violence in this movie. And when there is, it's very, like, quick and over suddenly. So I'll give it to the human killing the dragon killing the Komodo dragon on this one.
Okay, hey, that's totally fair because mine's actually going to be the the Komodo dragon getting the flare in the mouth.
Oh, I mean, that's okay. That's a really cool ending. Also, it looked really good. Like it looked a lot better than I thought it might. We don't shoot enough flare guns into animals, into dangerous animals' stomachs. So uh, that was delightful.
Yeah, I agree. I was totally surprised. I was like, "Oh, that actually looked really good too." But I do like yours as well because it was kind of like you haven't seen this kid for a third of the movie, and then he just shows up all Rambo and just like,
Yeah, shirtless, sweaty, with a big old stick, just like ah. And it's like, all
yeah,
right, that's what I mean. Like he should have bathed in that Komodo blood and like covered himself in it, and then be like, I am now a Komodo, and then just goes completely ape shit on these animals. Like that's a movie. In fact, we're gonna remake Komodo, and we're just gonna call it Komodo 2: The Return of the Kid, and then it's just him becoming a Komodo dragon.
Well, do you think it's so weird because there's a scene in the movie where he takes out the heart of a Komodo dragon apparently somehow with his bare hands.
Yeah,
It's never fully explained. It's never shown. You never find out what he does with this heart of the Komodo dragon. Just later on in the movie, you see him Rambo styling it up.
I mean, he's probably keeping it as a keepsake. Like I think like he's holding on to that thing, putting it in some resin, kind of like how some people put their like removed testicle from their cancer surgery. They'll keep that in a little piece of resin. He's got that Komodo dragon heart, so we'll never forget the good times he had at Camp Almost Died.
Love it. Who's your least favorite kill?
I think the least favorite kill is the lack of Komodo dragon violence. Like there's just not enough Komodo dragons hurting people, and even when there is, it's over too fast. So I think that's a big miss to not have enough of that, especially in a creature feature. Like I don't know what your opinions are on this, but like I feel like the best creature features are ones that realize that yes, you need humans to tell this story, but at the end of the day, we're here to see a monster. And so the more time you get with that monster, the better. And if you have interesting characters that, do a good job, like kind of making you care about them, then that's great. But by all means, you can have the most anonymous characters as in your cast, as long as your monsters are kick ass.
Yeah, I agree. You have to show a lot of the monster because your movie is literally called Komodo. It should be the star of the film. It's just like Anaconda. By like 2/3 of the movie, like the Anaconda is the star of it. So
And that's how it
I
should be.
totally yeah, and I totally agree. I cheaped out. Well, not cheaped out, but this is like my biggest pet peeve in movies is kills off screen. So I went
Yes.
with the parents at the beginning of the movie. Pretty vicious dog death, I do have to say.
Yeah, and actually there's it's a little shocking because we're so used to seeing the camera pull away during animal deaths, but no, this one definitely did not. It hung on.
Yeah, it lingered on the dog kill, but didn't linger on a single person getting it. Um,
I can't imagine
very
why because it seemed like there had to have been some practical effects here. Like there had to have been like this didn't look all CGI to me, but maybe that upscaling was hiding my tricking my eyes into thinking something else.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I didn't see any even with Martin Griss, the boat guy. He shows up randomly, and it's so dark that you can barely see what his prosthetics even look like. Um, so yeah, it was kind of rough. But I guess that's a good segue into the next one: gore effects and special effects.
I mean, the gore is almost like again, there's very little gore in this. There's occasional we see like some. It's more like post trauma gore. So there's that one I forget the guy's name, like the friend of Billy Burt's characters, like gets all fucked up. Like he's definitely gets bloodied up a little bit, but you don't really see a lot of it. But I do think like again, when you get to see the Komodo dragon moving and like on screen and like scenes where you get to see it in full, I think they look pretty good. Like even that scene in the where one of the big climax scenes is where they string the thing up and there's a bunch of other dragons coming out from the bottom. Like it looks pretty good. So I got to hand it to him. Like it one thing I thought going into this that I was going to have the biggest problem with was going to be that. And that was the thing I had the least amount of problems with was the look of the Komodo dragons and the overall visual effects.
Yeah, I totally agree. I thought for sure that like the guy in the video that I originally watched this, he said that the practical effects stand up and very well, and I zero complaints. I mean, when that Komodo dragon comes over the hill in the last sequence of the movie, I'm like, that looks top tier. Like that's as good as
Yeah.
Jurassic Park.
Looks
Um,
menacing.
yeah, and even knowing you had problems with the AI CGI kind of do up or whatever, but I actually didn't. I was actually surprised on how much it didn't bother me.
I think you just get used to it. But it does look like, and again, assuming this is right, that John Cox and the Creature Workshop built a life-size Komodo dragon creature for this, and it was puppeted and all that stuff. So I love that. Like, that means that somewhere out there right now is a life-size Komodo dragon puppet that is not being used, that needs to be brought out of retirement.
Yes, 100%. I'll agree. This, believe it or not, this movie did spawn 2 sequels.
Wait, what? No fucking way.
Yes, it did. The second film is Curse of the Komodo, and then the third film is Komodo versus Cobra.
Oh, I think I'm just gonna go straight to Komodo versus Cobra, if I'm being honest. Like, that to me had, oh wow, this cover is, it's PG-13. See, that's where you lose me. Like, I need hard R with my cheese. Like, this isn't an adventure film. This is Komodo dragons versus cobras. I want hard violence with that. But
Yeah, I feel like you might get that one in the second one. It's got a and that one actually has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 22%. Um, let's see. On a tropical island, genetically mutated Komodo dragons find themselves facing the prospects of a feast. Their main course contains a team of scientists led by Professor Nathan Phillips that has been ordered by the military to destroy all evidence of the secret experiment. Um,
you
yeah,
know why
pretty
this
much.
already has my money? Is because it's a Jim Wynorski joint. And Jim Wynorski, love him or hate him, has made some absolute bangers like Chopping Mall. He did Return of Swamp Thing. I know I'm missing some, but yeah, there's way more than that. And so if Jim Wynorski was involved, I'm pretty sure it's going to be, at the very least, so bad it's good, or good but still bad.
Yeah, I mean, from the cover like the one cover I see for it actually looks pretty intriguing, but the other one does not at all
I
look
mean,
very good.
there is a still on IMDb that has this, what looks like Godzilla if he was walking on all fours as opposed to bipedal, running after a truck that's shooting an AK-47 at the Komodo dragon. So that to me is already 10 times better than what we saw.
Yep, I definitely agree. Um, yeah, so this movie did at least spawn some sequels, I guess. Um, do you got anything for like storyline and pacing? Anything else you'd like to bring up?
Just that, to reiterate that this should have been a much simpler story, and it's not. And I think that's its biggest flaw, is that it overcomplicates the simple. Because at the end of the day, we don't need like background on this kid. We don't need this kind of family being killed plot, because that's all like a red herring for the fact that what's really going on is there's an oil company that's trying to take over this land and displace a bunch of Komodo dragons. So it's like you have to pick your poison here, and I don't think the film ever does that, because on the one hand, it's trying to like help this psychologist or psychiatrist rehabilitate a traumatized kid by bringing them to an island where a shady oil company is trying to displace Komodo dragons. It's like that. I just want one of those problems, and I think the more interesting problem is the oil company displacing Komodo dragons. But even then, that might be too complicated for this this premise. All you need is bring people to a place where there are ravenous, murderous Komodo dragons, and that's it. Have them escape, flee, fight. And I don't know much about Komodo dragons. I don't know if like they're pack hunters, or if like there's anything that makes them unique beyond, like, I think they mentioned something like venom, that their bites might be venomous. So, you know, there's got to be stuff that you could work with there, but I think it's overcomplicated to a fault.
Yep, I totally agree with that. 100%. Yeah, so that was one fact that I was kind of curious if they were going to bring into the mix, is that their bites are so filled with bacteria. Essentially, when you're bitten, there's no cure, and we can wander off for a while, but you will die. It doesn't matter, and they'll just slowly track you over time. Like that's kind of how they do hunt out in the wild. So I'm glad they did do something with that. But yes, I agree. I think it should have been simpler. Like this could have been maybe not like Zombievers or something like that, but like you just have a group of people that go there. There's no rhyme or reason for these gigantic Komodo dragons thrown in the mix, and there's carnage ensues.
And I think like
There's
Jaws is like a bad movie to compare this to, because obviously Jaws is a really well made movie, and it's not just about the shark. It's really more about these performances and kind of how it is basically like a small microcosm of how power usurps danger most of the time. But I do think that one thing Jaws, like, you can relate to this movie is as far as like what it could have learned from Jaws is like, make this about the shark, make this about the Komodo dragon, but it's not. It's about the kid. It's about this oil company. Those are distractions to me. And like you said, it doesn't have to be like some audacious plot, like where the Komodo dragons have some zombie DNA or something that makes them unkillable. Like, no, like these things are menacing enough as is. So why don't we just like put people in a situation where they are helpless against them, because they are apex predators. So if we're in a place where we don't have our tools to be able to overcome, like, we're at a deficit, right? So I think there's just so much more that could have been done with that. Just keeping people there, throwing some weird survival guy, who kind of knows how to make, knives and shit out of nothing, and like then you've got a real fun movie. You've got like I always think if we put like the Creighton Duke character from Jason Goes to Hell. Imagine if he was like the guy that was leading a group of campers to this place where these Komodo dragons are, and then like he has to show them how to survive. So I feel like that would be a perfect addition to, like, that would make a really fun, 80 to 90-minute movie that I'm not going to make. But if someone's listening to this and wants to take that idea, hey, you do it.
I agree. Yeah, because there's almost like no sense of like how much time has passed between sequences within the movie as well. I mean, you get you get the eggs being dropped off, and then it's like it literally says 13 summers later, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of
a strange reference of time. You mean 13 years? Like what are we? 13 years to the day?
Yeah, like kudos for being different, I guess, but it doesn't really work. And then you get the parent's death, and then all of a sudden there's no sense of how much time has actually passed, and he doesn't look like he's aged at all. So is this a year later? Is this 2 years later? Because nobody's understanding how much time has actually passed within this movie. There's that, like I said, he steals the heart, and then like literally the kid just disappears for 3/4, like a third of the movie, and then just reappears at the end. So you have no idea how he's been surviving, how he gained these skills to begin with. It's just all kind of brushed over.
Yeah, and like that's again, like it all goes back to, if you're going to include these things, we have to find a way to somehow explain them, or at least introduce them in a way that allows the audience to at least believe them. But there's just none of that's here, and I think it's just a symptom of trying to do too much and not enough of the right thing.
Yeah. Do you got any favorite scenes of the movie?
No, I don't think I do, to be honest. Like, there's nothing that stood out to me that was like, oh, I'm going to remember that forever. But then again, I have a pretty shitty memory. So yeah, I'm going to say no. But if I rewatch this at some point and come back with something amazing, I will let you know. But yeah, nothing stood out except for what we already talked about with the the heart eating and the kid stabbing it. I guess I take this back. This is a long way of me not answering than answering the question. I will steal the flare scene, because I do think that's pretty cool. Like, if I have to pick a scene, that is the best way to end it, even though if it is somewhat anticlimactic to the extent that we only get one Komodo dragon at that point. But, and I'm still not convinced that the Komodo dragon would run up to a helicopter. Like, I'm pretty sure that the helicopter noise would scare the shit out of any Komodo dragon. So I don't know, but I'm giving it to that scene just because of, you get to see the flare up in the throat, and that's a pretty cool visual.
All right, cool. Yeah, we pretty much talked about a lot of the cool scenes. I will say, even knowing the AI scaling was so dark, I could barely make out what was going on screen. I do like the tall grass sequence at the beginning with the kid, and you kind of see the tall grass kind of moving, and then the kid gets jumped, but then he gets away. So I thought that one was a little bit tense. I'll give it there, wasn't bad, but it's not exactly. I've already forgotten half of this movie, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, that's the hard part. Is like I'm trying to like rack my brain. I'm like, yeah, I watched this yesterday. How am I not able to remember enough about it? But it's like there's the things that are memorable are the kind of things that you have to remind you. Like you have to make it memorable for yourself because they're not like when I think about the scene in Dream Warriors when Freddy uses the puppet like uses the guy's tendons and makes him a puppet marionette. Like that scene is etched in my brain and has been ever since I first saw it. Nothing in Komodo led me to be like, oh my God, I'm never going to forget this part. And that's okay. Most movies are like that. But again, if it would have stuck to something simpler, we might probably have more, Instagrammable moments of like, holy shit, did we just see that kind of thing?
Yeah. This movie is definitely not clippable.
No.
How about least favorite scenes?
I'm just gonna say that my least favorite scene is the constant stop starting of this thing. So it always kind of like something big and exciting will happen, then nothing happens for 5 to 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And it kind of follows this pattern where like nothing ever really tends to happen until like the last 15 minutes when things really start to pick up the pace. But I just think that the pacing of it all to me, not so much a specific scene, but the fact that they felt the need to like keep including these melodrama scenes in the middle of what should be kind of perpetual action, to me just felt like we're constantly kind of tug of warring with the interesting parts of this movie where it's like, oh, it's been getting good, and all of a sudden you pull it back like shit. Now we're back to learning about why this kid's not talking again, and Jill Hennessy's got to figure out why.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I'll give my least favorite scene is to the fact that we never got to see the villain get eaten, killed, or anything. It's just I had to rewatch the movie twice, just that sequence, because I did the hour 25 last night, and then I watched like this sequence for the hour 31 today, because I was like, he had to have died. Like, they're not just gonna make him the villain throughout the whole movie and not kill him in some horrible, awful way, at least. So I thought they might have left something out. And I am not, nothing happened to him. It literally just shows him watching the helicopter fly away, and then you never know anything else about that character ever again.
And to that end, like, did they even describe, like, did the oil company win in the end or not? Like, I feel like they stole the helicopter, they escaped, but that was it. And I'm like, okay, so like basically the bad guys got what they wanted. You all just got trauma for having to fight a bunch of Komodo dragons. Like that doesn't seem like it's a net loss in my mind.
Yeah, like the idea was for them, like why the oil company wanted them not to get off the island was not to report that there are giant Komodo dragons that are almost extinct on the island, so they can continue to harvest the oil from the island. And then they just get off the island, and then the cop shows up, and they just say, "Yeah, long day," and then the cop just drives away. It's just so pointless.
We need closure.
With something, anyways. And yeah, like Burke even leaves the bad guys the rifle when he gets when he hops in the plane. He just drops the rifle on the ground, takes a handgun, and then flies the plane away. So why would you leave them anything at all?
Yeah, there's just because I think it's just so rushed. Like the whole thing feels like there was just a need to get this out, and that's cool. But at the same time, I'm I really wanted this to be better than it was, but I'm not mad that I watched it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Speaking of that, would you recommend? I'm trying to think. I didn't write down my last two little categories here. I'm gonna have to.
I think would I recommend it, and final thoughts score out of 5. So
yep.
Would I recommend this? No. Yeah, just no. I just don't know who, like, I just don't feel like even if you like creature attack movies, there's just not enough of that in this to make it worthwhile. So I feel like there's a really small subsection of people that are like, I need a meandering Komodo dragon movie with very little violence. And I mean, maybe, you know what? Let me take that back. If you are a parent and you have a young kid who is interested in horror movies, but you are not sure if you want to show them something hardcore yet, this is a pretty good movie to start them on because it's no more violent than Jurassic Park in many ways. Maybe there's some extra language that, but that's kids hear so much worse on the internet now that like I'm convinced that whatever you say in a movie is not going to be near as bad. So I would recommend it to the parent with the growing child who's interested in horror but needs to validate that interest with something like this.
That's a good call. I'm just say I would recommend this to the people who are in special effects. If you're an aspiring special effects artist, I mean, like this life-size Komodo dragon that they created is insane. It's a work of art. I highly recommend just watching it just for those sequences alone. But yeah, I like your take too as well. Yeah, this is definitely a good entry level kind of monster movie.
Yeah, good gateway horror.
Definitely. I mean, like one of my gateway horror movies growing up was Python. So another kind of giant monster movie, but this Python definitely had a lot more adult themes going on, and a lot more gory. So yeah, I think if I would have watched this at a younger age, I feel like I would have had a lot more appreciation for it.
I'm also not a big when animals attack. Like as far as subgenres go, it's not one of my favorites. Not to say I dislike it. It's just not something I go to, on my own. But my younger years, like my Komodo dragon was a Razorback, which is an absolutely unhinged movie about a wild pig in the Australian outback. So everyone deserves one animal attack movie when they're growing up, and maybe Komodo is that for somebody.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Razorback is this Thursday's episode, so I'm excited to hear that.
Have you seen Razorback yet?
I have not.
Oh man, I can't. I'll be watching because I just want to hear what you have to think about. I haven't seen it in a while, but I'd imagine it still holds up, but maybe I'll rewatch it before then so I can join in the fun.
I bought it like 2 years ago when Scream Factory released it on Blu-ray, and it's just been sitting there unopened. So this was a good excuse for me to open up some stuff and finally watched it.
I think I might still have a bootleg because I didn't upgrade to the Scream Factory one. I have to double check. But I remember I had a bootleg for a long time of it because it just wasn't available on. I don't even think it was on DVD. I think it was just on VHS, and then made the jump to Blu-ray when Scream Factory put it out, or there was like a import somewhere before I had a region free player. But God bless the bootleggers.
Yeah, absolutely. Final thoughts and rating out of 5.
Right, I'm gonna do the rating first. This is a solid 2 out of 5. It's competent filmmaking. The creature effects alone do make it worth the watch, but it just is so meandering and this fumbles the most simplest of opportunities to tell it into of what people want to see. So I think there's a lot to admire from the effects. There's a lot less to admire from the plotting and the narrative.
All right, fair enough. I am also going to go with 2 stars. Again, the effects, I think, give it a 1.5 stars, and maybe like the flare in the mouth is probably the other half a star here. It's fine. It's just totally forgettable in my opinion. I won't remember this movie 2 weeks from now when I get around to doing my rating. So hopefully, continuing with Monster Month, I'm pretty excited because I know I got bangers by the end of the month. So this is definitely a low point to start it off. I mean, I started out with Deep Blue Sea last week, and
that's a high point.
Yeah, it is a high point. We're dipping back down low. So, yeah, the rest of the movies I'm hoping are going to be bangers. I mean, I got a lot planned. But yeah, this movie just fell flat, totally forgettable. I was kind of excited for it.
You know what's going to happen is you're going to forget you've seen this in like 4 years. You'll be like, Komodo. That sounds interesting. I feel like that sounds familiar, but I don't remember it. I'm going to watch it again. And then you're going to be in this vicious cycle of rewatching it every 4 to 5 years because it's such an anonymous movie that you're like, okay, I kind of forgot what happened in it. And then you see it again. You're like, oh, now I kind of remember this. But by that point, the time you remember, it's too late. You'll get to the flare gun in the throat scene. You'll be like, oh, shit. I realize I've seen this whole thing before.
You know what? Like, I feel like this movie starts so low that the sequels are probably going to be much better. So,
I love this. I
I,
mean, you know what? Honestly, I'm going to watch the sequel. I'm going to give it 30 minutes because if it can't get me in 30 minutes, then I'm just going to move on with my day. Um, but I did see this question: is this better than Godzilla in 1998? I'm going to say no. Like and this might put a target on my back, but like I don't think Godzilla 1998 is that bad of a movie. Like it's not a good Godzilla movie, like in terms
mhm.
of staying close to the lore, but I don't know. I remember seeing that as a kid, and that soundtrack was a banger. And obviously Puff Daddy is a huge piece of shit, but he had a very good like song with the guy from Led Zeppelin, Jimmy Page, I want to say, and it was fun. Like it's not again Godzilla having little baby Godzillas and like the subways, like totally not Godzilla. But I think if they would have made it, call it not Godzilla, like just called it, you know, fuck off lizard movie, you know, like, and then I think it would have been received a little bit differently.
Yeah, he also says that he loves Godzilla of 1999. To be honest, I've seen it like a million times, and I love the bad monster movies. I agree. I think Godzilla 1999 or 1998 is better than this movie. I mean, I grew up with that movie, so I have huge nostalgia for it. I haven't seen it in a very long time, but you know, you got Nick Totopoulos in there. Can never forget that name.
Matthew
Yeah, it's just
Broderick, who killed a woman, you know, like you got all that in there.
yeah, it's definitely got a lot more fun and interesting characters to follow, at least in that movie, than you'd get in this one.
Yeah, it was riding
Uh,
high. And I also think Godzilla looks kind of cool. Like he doesn't look like Godzilla should with his kind of like dad bod, you know? Because
mhm.
Godzilla's all about that big ass, you know, and that big lower half. But in 1998, he's kind of like it's like a lizard like athlete. He's got long strides, you know, a little bit leaner. I do think I don't know. I think it's a good design. It's just again not from the biggest problem was to call it a Godzilla movie because it's really just should be giant lizard in New York movie.
Yeah, I agree. I think the director doesn't even like Godzilla, right? Like he didn't even want to do the movie, I don't think.
Roland Emmerich. I mean, he's Roland Emmerich is a interesting character to say the least. Notoriously, like made one really good movie, and the rest of them are. I gotta take that back. Two really good movies because Stargate's a good movie, and Independence Day is a good movie, but that's about it.
Yeah. um yeah, let's see. I'm gonna say hey to Swift here real quick. We got Swift here from Horror 365. What is going on? Salute everyone. Miss you all. Yeah, miss you too, Swift.
What are the
Um
movies you have lined up for this month besides Razorback?
so actually Swift is gonna be on with me for Razorback on Thursday. And after that, next week is Eight Legged Freaks and Lake Placid. And then I'm finishing it off with Anaconda. We're going to be watching the new 4K.
I mean,
And then,
that's banger.
yeah, and then that's it. I'm ending it there. Um, I was just trying to do like all the great ones from like the 90s and um, pretty
Lake
much they're
Placid's
all.
so good. Like
Oh,
it's
it's
such a
so
fun
good.
movie.
I actually Rob, who was in the stream earlier, is going to be on there with me and his one of his co-hosts, and he gave the movie a 1 star the last time he watched it. So I'm super excited to give it a watch with him.
Acid?
Yeah,
What?
Lake Placid.
That blows my mind. But
I
you've also got Illegal Freaks coming up, which is like such an unhinged and fun movie that like didn't I remember when that was released and I don't think the world knew what to do with it because it's like this is a 50s monster movie in like the early 2000s, early aughts. Pretty sure I had David Arquette in it, right?
oh yeah,
Yeah. That's a good movie.
ScarJo is in it. Scarlett Johansson.
No way.
Yeah,
Really?
it's one of Scarlett Johansson's early roles. She plays the mother of the sheriff. Like it's got a bunch of like character actors in there. You know, you recognize everybody in it.
I mean, I remember Dougie Doug was in it because he was the comedic relief, and this was not that far. Like I think pretty sure Cool Runnings was like 4 or 5 years before this, so a little bit more, like 9 years, but whatever.
Yeah, I remember I had a VHS copy of Eight-Legged Freaks growing up. That was a blank one that somebody must have taped over it while it was on TV.
Damn. So someone's like someone's bar mitzvah got taped over your Eight-Legged Freaks recording.
Yep.
The worst.
Oh no, I was very happy with that VHS tape. I mean, that person might be upset, but
I mean, I think that's such a lost era because there's I remember I used to have a copy of Willow that wasn't an official copy. It was something I recorded off of, like, remember when they used to show movies in the middle of the day, like on every channel? You know, it'd be like Sunday movie nights or Saturday movie night on like Fox or whatever. And I remember recording Willow, and I would always I almost knew it to a T when to hit the fast forward button because of the commercial breaks. And that's how I saw Willow for like the first 10 years of my life, was through a recorded VHS with a bunch of commercials layered in between.
Nice. Oh, you gotta love it. Well, the things we went to do, like the things we went through in order to have physical media.
You know, I think it's as much as streaming opens up the world to access, like the accessibility of streaming does allow for more people to see more things, but nothing will ever beat some of the trials and tribulations of having to rewind your videotape, find a precise moment in a movie without being able to see it, because when you rewound it, you either had to stop and rewind it, or you had to like rewind it and it was too fast to see what's going on. It's a lost era, but I'm glad. I wouldn't have had it any other way if I'm thinking about it. I'm glad that I grew up with the analog side of life, because I could appreciate the digital a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see here. I'll hit up a couple more comments. I want to watch this because, bad monster movies are my fave. Hey, it's free on YouTube.
Yeah, I won't be disappointed.
Nope. See, Nemo also said that Rob is a hard critic, to be honest, and he is. He is one hard critic. Swift, I would sit recording the movie from my TV and manually pause when commercials started and restart and record when the commercial breaks were over. That's dedication, man.
It's like when you'd listen to the radio and you'd record the song, like you'd wait for your favorite song to this is such a very unique early millennial experience of calling into the request line, requesting a song, and then waiting all fucking night to see if they actually played it, so you could record it and on your cassette tape. And most of the time they didn't, so you just kind of sit there like, all right, we got Matt here on the line. He wants to hear, Zombie from the Cranberries. We'll get that right up there, Matt. And like 5 hours later, I'm still sitting there, hand on that pause and that play button.
Yeah, I had a couple of mixtapes back in my day too. Oh, that's funny.
Good times in the analog world.
Yeah. All right, Matty. Well, thank you so much, man, for coming on. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you, what you got coming up?
Hopefully no one can find me, because that means you found my address, in which case I'm scared. But you can find me online at macabre_Matty on Instagram. It's my only social media, so I don't have anything else. And then if you want to follow Macabre Daily, I'd rather you follow Macabre Daily than follow me, because there's more cool stuff coming out of Macabre Daily. It's just at Macabre Daily. Also, macabredaily.com is our website. And then we are on Blue Sky at whatever Blue Sky is. Just put in Macabre Daily. You'll find us immediately. And I just want to shout out real quick. We have Martial Arts Week starting not this next week, but the following week. So the week of the 23rd. If you're interested in martial arts films and you like play upon words with adding March and then Shul to it, then check it out that week. We're gonna have some fun, hopefully reviews, like opinions about all different kinds of martial arts films, which I personally love. And I have a bunch of box sets that I haven't cracked into. So this is almost an excuse for me to watch some of the movies that I've owned for a long time.
Excellent. Nice. I know. I love that feeling. Need to give yourself an excuse to watch some movies sometimes.
Yeah, you gotta curate your programming in such a way where it's like, I get to do this for work. So.
Yep. Nice. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Let's see, guys. I will be back on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern time to talk about Razorback with Swift from Horror 365. Super excited for that. It's gonna be a first time watch for me. So yeah, come join us then. And always remember, guys, to stay spooky.
Groovy.